Today we're telling the story of Bobbie, who actually escaped from a religion that kept her from going to college. We started meeting with her back in January, and now she's got a full bachelor's degree, and she's ready to go on and get her master's in counseling. It only cost her $3,100, and she took like 5 months to get it done. She's an amazing person. She's going to give you a ton of inspiration, and you know what? I'll just shut up and let's hear from her.
I really always had a desire to go to college, but
Yeah.
I actually raised in a religion that discouraged it. Get to graduate, and I ended up taking my proficiency exam about a year into being married and was not able to go back to school until 2009, I believe. I started to go to Shasta College. My kids were growing up by then and was starting to try to figure out what I wanted to do with myself. I went through appointment after appointment and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do as well. And at that time, I was still in that religion. So I was very much discouraged and I had to do it extremely part-time because I had no support at home. We started moving around a lot as well. So every time I would move, I would have to start over. There'd be different requirements. There would be changes in, yes, that works here, but we won't accept that. And I just had so many credits, but I wasn't going anywhere. I quit quite a few times and would restart. And in 2020, I found myself divorced and 50 and no longer in that religion. And I jumped in to go into a technical school to be a nurse. And promptly COVID happened while I was in there. And then I got COVID really bad and was unable to stand 12 hours and be a nurse any longer. So I just went back to school.
You met with Dr. Daly in January of this year, but you had just finished that associate's then. What was the associate's in?
Science. What happens is when you go against the grain in that way, and instead of being out in ministry and preaching, and you're spending your free time doing that, you kind of get ostracized and you lose your friends. It basically just squelched my social life with those people.
What made you keep going back to it even when you were kind of suffering those unfair consequences?
Knowing that I lived my whole life in a religion that taught you that there's no future in this world. And knowing I have no retirement, nothing to fall back on, and I stopped believing that. So I was just frantically trying to figure out what am I going to do with myself at this point. In high school, I really thought I would become something. I had a lot of aspirations, but I married an older man. He had 2 children. And I promptly had 2 more. I was locked down tight. I had no way of leaving 4 kids or no means of being able to do that. And so I just finished that job and then waited until I was, had those circumstances to do it for myself.
Well, kudos to you. That's truly, you had the deck stacked against you, but here you are, graduated. Let's jump into that. What was your career target? Like, I guess what job or field were you wanting to get with this bachelor's degree?
I don't know that I had a goal with the bachelor's degree. My goal is to be a licensed marriage family counselor. My ultimate goal is to specialize in religious trauma. And so my goal for getting my bachelor's degree was just as fast as possible so I can get into a master's program.
What school did you guys end up picking?
University of Maine, Prescott Isle.
And what major did you end up going with?
I just did liberal arts.
Yeah, and that's a great way to get into a master's program, right? That's the qualification you need for most counseling programs. It's just that bachelor's degree. You were coming in with some transfer credits from your community, your associate's degree, I'm assuming.
I took 11 classes at University of Maine and 10 on Sophia. I knew I needed 22 courses, and so I ended up doing it a little bit differently. I did 2 brackets of time on UMPI.
Oh,
Sophia,
great. Wow. Only 2 terms.
And that's basically all I took. Sophia didn't take me any time at all.
So you do a month in Sophia, you sign up for 2 terms total of UMPI, so that's 2 terms there. $3,400 for the well, actually their prices weren't raised yet, so they would have been just $3,000. $100 for Sophia, it sounds like. I'm guessing, does $3,100 sound about right?
About.
And to knock out the entire half of the degree in just 5 months, that is super cool. To be able to go through UMPI that fast and finish those 10 courses in 2 terms, what's your secret there? How did you keep moving forward?
Well, I don't work
so quickly.
So I will,
Okay.
I'll put that right up front. If anybody works, I knew it would be slightly harder, but I looked at it as a job, minimum 6 hours a day and during the week. There was a couple of very hard classes, but other than that, I I felt, very confident about them, and I thought they had everything laid out very, easily. I'm not very tech savvy. I had to learn to do, some Zoom things and some PowerPoints, but I did all right.
And the next step, it sounds like, is going on to get a master's in counseling, right?
Right.
Okay. And do you have an idea of where you're going for that?
No, I'm likely going to make a mini appointment with Lauren. I live in California. There's seat crep and comfy, and I really don't understand all that yet. And that's an education.
Yeah, all the different accreditations, right? Do you have any advice for other people who were maybe in your same position a year ago?
I definitely think, I was out of work. Lauren knew that. I was struggling. I was running out of Social Security and everything else that was happening at the time. And I am a tightwad, I'll just say it. And this was the best money that I invested in my future, honestly. It would have taken me so much longer to figure it out myself. I'm just very grateful to have had everything laid out on paper.
I know that your story is going to be inspiration to other people. And I really am rooting for you getting into that master's program and going on and continuing to help people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bobbie, for being on and being such a huge inspiration to me and everybody else watching. If you want to do what she did and work with us to graduate college quickly and inexpensively so you can build a career that you love, check out the link in the description. You can meet with our team who will help you pick a college and a major that will get you where you want to be and will be achievable in a realistic manner, not like what big college wants us all to do, spending 4 to 6 years and tens of thousands of dollars to graduate. A lot of our clients graduate in under $8,000 and under like 12 months. Though, if you're Bobbie, it might be way quicker than that. Wherever you're coming from and whatever you need, we'd love to work with you and be part of your success story. Thanks again to Bobbie for being on. Thank you for watching, and happy hacking.